6 years why Alicent felt betrayed by Otto's cruel plot to murder Rhaenyra's sons. What happens when loyalty to family clashes with loyalty to conscience? When a mother's instinct for peace collides with her father's ruthless hunger for power? In the world of House of the Dragon, where betrayal is currency and love is weakness, no one embodies this torment more than Queen Alicent Hightower. She has been called manipulative, cold, and power-hungry, but the truth runs much deeper. Beneath her regal composure lies a woman who was forced to play a game she never wanted to play. And nothing shatters her more than discovering the one person she trusted most, her father, Otto Hightower, orchestrated a plot so vile that even the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms felt powerless to stop it. This is the story of why Alicent felt betrayed by Otto's cruel plot to murder Rhaenyra's sons, and how that betrayal broke the already fragile soul of a woman trapped in a war she never wished for. Alicent Hightower's life was built upon manipulation long before she wore the crown. As a young girl, she was molded by her father, Otto, the calculating hand of the king, into a tool for advancement. Otto saw his daughter not as a person, but as a pathway. When King Viserys lost his wife, Otto pushed Alicent into the grieving king's chambers under the guise of comfort. But behind every kind word, behind every tear shared by candlelight, was Otto's ambition whispering, "Secure your place. Secure our family's future." Alicent's marriage to Viserys wasn't born out of love, it was forged out of duty, her father's duty to power. And though she obeyed, a piece of her innocence died that day. Still, she played her role. She bore children, maintained grace, and stood loyally by her husband. But her father's ambitions never ceased. Otto's dream was not just to see his blood on the throne, it was to control it. At first, Alicent believed her father's words. He told her that Rhaenyra, Viserys' firstborn, would bring ruin upon her children if ever crowned. He planted the seed of fear that the princess she once called a friend would someday destroy them all. And fear is a powerful motivator. It turned Alicent from a friend into a rival, from a woman into a weapon. But years later, after Viserys' death and the inevitable clash for the Iron Throne began, Alicent started to see that her father's vision of victory was drenched in blood, and not just the blood of her enemies, but of innocence. When Otto first whispered his idea to remove Rhaenyra's sons, Alicent's heart froze. The mere thought of killing children, children she had known since birth, children who once played with her own, was unthinkable. But to Otto, it was necessary. He called them bastards, a stain on the royal bloodline, unworthy of the throne. To him, eliminating them wasn't murder, it was a political correction. Otto's reasoning was chillingly logical. With Rhaenyra's sons gone, her claim to the throne would weaken. Her supporters would lose faith. The realm would rally behind Aegon, Alicent's son. In Otto's mind, the ends justified the means. But for Alicent, it was a breaking point. She had already watched her friendship with Rhaenyra crumble under years of mistrust. She had already been forced to choose sides in a war she didn't want. But this, killing Rhaenyra's sons, crossed a line she could never accept. Alicent may have been hardened by court life, but deep inside, she was still a mother. And she understood the pain of losing a child. She had lived through the deaths of her own loved ones, felt the endless ache of loss. To her, Otto's plan wasn't strategy, it was cruelty. She confronted him, her voice trembling but defiant. "They are children, father," she said. "What kind of kingdom are we building if it's built on the bones of babes?" Otto, as always, remained calm. His gaze cold, calculating. "A lasting one," he replied. Those words would haunt her. Because in that moment, Alicent saw her father not as her protector, but as a monster who had been feeding off her obedience for years. She realized he was willing to do anything, use anyone, to achieve his goals. Even her. To understand the depth of Alicent's betrayal, we must look at her relationship with Otto through the lens of control. Otto didn't simply guide Alicent, he shaped her. He trained her to obey, to sacrifice, to suppress her own desires. He convinced her that she was acting out of righteousness, when in reality, she was carrying out his ambition. But now, as queen and mother, Alicent began to question everything. Was her fight against Rhaenyra ever truly hers? Or had it all been her father's war from the start? Otto's plan to assassinate Rhaenyra's sons made the answer painfully clear. He wasn't protecting Alicent's family, he was protecting his own power. He didn't care about Aegon's well-being, nor Helena's peace, nor Aemon's wrath. He only cared that the Hightower name endured, that history remembered him as the man who controlled the realm from the shadows. And Alicent, for the first time in her life, saw herself as a pawn on his board. The plot was simple, but horrific. Otto intended to send agents to Dragonstone under the cover of night, assassins disguised as sailors, bearing false banners. Their orders: to slay Rhaenyra's sons, Jacaerys, Lucerys, and Joffrey, and make it look like an accident at sea. A shipwreck, a storm, anything that could conceal the truth. But Alicent couldn't bear it. She couldn't let her father stain her soul, or her children's reign, with that kind of sin. So she did something Otto never expected. She defied him. Behind closed doors, Alicent went to Aemond. She warned him not to act against his cousins, no matter what Otto commanded. She spoke to Aegon, pleading that their rule must come from legitimacy, not bloodshed. But Aegon, impulsive, arrogant, intoxicated by power, laughed her off. "The realm won't remember how we take the throne, mother," he said, "only that we took it." Her sons were becoming the very thing she feared, reflections of Otto's ruthless teachings. When Otto's men moved forward with the assassination plan, Alicent intervened quietly. Through a loyal servant, she had word sent to Dragonstone, a warning for Rhaenyra to guard her sons closely. She knew if Otto discovered her interference, he would see it as treason. But she didn't care. For once, she would choose conscience over control. It was a dangerous move, one that could cost her everything. When Otto found out, his fury was volcanic. In a rare display of emotion, he confronted Alicent in the Red Keep's council chambers. "You would risk everything for the children of a traitor," he demanded. "They are innocent," she shot back. Otto's eyes narrowed. "Innocent? You sound just like her. Like that harlot Rhaenyra. I raised you better than this." Alicent's composure cracked. For years, she had endured his manipulation in silence. But now, she met his words with venom. "No, father. You raised me to be your puppet. To do your bidding while you pulled the strings from behind the curtain. But I will not be your tool anymore." For the first time, Otto realized he no longer had complete control over her. And for Alicent, it was both liberating and terrifying. She had defied the man who had built her world, and she knew he would never forgive her for it. From that day, their relationship was poisoned by distrust. Otto continued to whisper into Aegon's ear, ensuring his influence lived on through the young king. But Alicent began distancing herself, quietly dismantling the schemes her father tried to weave. Her defiance, however, came at a cost. Rumors began spreading through the court, whispers that the Queen Mother was soft, that she still harbored affection for Rhaenyra. Some claimed she was sabotaging her own house from within. Alicent was trapped. No matter what she did, someone suffered. If she obeyed Otto, she would lose her soul. If she defied him, she would lose her power. The betrayal she felt wasn't just about one cruel plot, it was about a lifetime of being used in the name of ambition. Otto had stolen her innocence, her friendship, her peace of mind, and now he wanted to steal her humanity. What makes this moment so powerful in the